developmental stages. And some theories, they focus on personality development in tandem with sexual knowledge, like Freud. And some theories, like Erikson, they focus more on personal control. And some theory focus on cognitive development from one age to another, or from one age group to another. And some theory, like Piaget, focuses on how people's senses, vision, sense of smell, sense of touch, got more, some theories like Piaget, he focuses on how an infant increase his senses, smell, touch, hearing, vision, as the infant progress from infanthood to childhood to adulthood to old age. Our senses becomes more aware as we go through these different phases of life, and maybe our senses decline again in old age. So different theories focus on different things. When they want to find out what happens when a person progresses from one life phase to another. Okay, I'm not a psychologist and I can't even pretend to be one. So now let's talk about Erik Erikson's stages of development. And this is somewhere in your ebook, the first few pages of chapter 5. And Erikson focused on how people's sense of personal control increase or improve when they move from one life stage to another. Erikson's focus is personal control. And in the first stage, the infant, through breastfeeding, directly or indirectly, learn about the notion of personal control. If the mother attends to the infant's need right away, the infant learn about trust. And if the mother did not attend to the infant's need right away, the infant may take a long time or longer time to learn about trust towards adults around him or her, or towards authority figures. Initially, the infant, and we are not sure whether he or she remembers when he was an infant, but the infant may be less trusting even at a very young age, or can only develop the sense of trust at an older age. If the mother did not attend to his or her needs right away. And when the infant become a young kid, if he or she has a lot of opportunity to exercise autonomy, to make little decisions on his or her own from the family home life, and maybe when playing with the neighborhood kids, then in school life, then the kid may learn about independence in this age. And if the kid had less opportunity for autonomy in the home life or when playing with other kids, maybe the kid was never really the leader, the influential person in that group. And maybe in school, the kid had not much opportunity to learn about how to take charge, how to form independent thinking, even in small aspects of his or her life. Maybe to decide what clothes to wear or what shoes to wear. And what do I want to eat for lunch today? Small decisions like this. If the kid was given ample opportunity to make small decisions like this, or even like the previous slides, we talk about kids growing up in different neighborhoods. So, if at a very young age, if the kid had an opportunity to exercise autonomy or independent thinking to some degree, maybe to have the opportunity to tell the physicians about a certain issue, that's another manifestation of exercising autonomy. And the kid will gain a sense of personal control even at a young age. And if the parents, for one reason or another, did not encourage the kid to express himself in this manner, or the kid was always quote unquote overpowered by the other kids in the neighborhood, the kid did not have ample opportunity to exercise autonomy or independent thinking, to make his or her own decisions on behalf of the playmates or the team, or in school is the same thing, then the kid may not have the opportunity to develop independent thinking or a sense of personal control. And the kid may have to learn this at a later stage. And when the kid is a bit older, the kid progresses to the third stage, the initiative and guilt stage. And the kid in this stage have more opportunity to exercise autonomy or take initiative, like directing a play in their playgroup or in other social interactions, be the influential person. So, if the kid had ample opportunity to learn how to take initiative, then the kid will learn more about personal control when the kid progresses from infanthood to early childhood to childhood. And the kid will have a sense that, yeah, I can do anything I set my mind forth. I can do anything I put my mind forward. But if the kid had less opportunity to take initiative, maybe other people around him or her was always making decisions on his or her behalf. Sometimes the kid may develop a sense of self-doubt. I don't want to use the word guilt. I think it's too negative. Maybe self-doubt. The kid may try to question at this age, yeah, am I having enough personal control over the things around me? And can I be successful on the things I put my mind forth? The kid may doubt his or her own initiative, her own ability, not initiative, at this age. If the kid were not given ample opportunity to take initiative. And from the old example, if the parents encourage the kid to talk to the dentist about maybe the gum was bothering the kid was always complaining. And if the kid was given opportunity to take initiative by bringing that issue to the dentist, then the kid may develop a mindset. Maybe I can accomplish anything I put my mind forth. And if the kid did not have this opportunity, maybe the kid grew up in a different neighborhood, and the kid may be used to taking orders from other adults around him or her, or other kids around him or her. The kid, even in this age group, may be less inclined to take initiative because maybe the kid does not know how to take initiative within a group, in a group setting. And I believe that everyone progresses through all these stages. And we all progress through all these stages, not by the specific age group designated by Erickson, but we all progress through all these age group eventually. Some progress through this age group at the designated age, and some are late bloomers. Maybe some learn how to take initiative at a later age. Maybe in middle school, in high school, they catch up. But all of us eventually completes this cycle. That's my humble opinion. You don't need to agree. You go by what your psychologist professors say. I'm not a psychology. Okay. So, if the kid learns how to take initiative even as a young child, and when around age 5, the kid will take pride in whatever he or she does. Because the kid will think, yeah, I can take initiative. I know how to talk to adults around me. I know how to talk to my teachers. I know how to negotiate with my teachers even at this age. The kid may not realize he or she has this ability. The kid knows how to talk to authority figures, parents included, in a proper decorum. And because of that, the kid eventually will develop a sense of pride. Because the kid will feel that, yeah, I accomplished something. I'm able to do many things, including talking to authority figures. And the kid will feel competent in many things he or she does. And if the kid did not have ample opportunity to learn how to take initiative in this stage, the kid may still continue to have a sense of self-doubt. And the kid may say, I'm not as competent as other kids. And then the kid will progress through this stage during adolescence. So, people who are successful in this stage, they feel competent, they feel accomplished and whatnot. They have a sense of pride in their achievements. It may be easier, according to Erickson, to form their identities during adolescence years. They have a sense of who they are, why they are in a given society, why they are here, who they are. And some kids who continue to doubt themselves, and because of that, they feel less competent, it may take them a longer time to form their identities. They may be somewhat confused in their adolescence years. And we see that happening maybe in our own life or among people around us. And because of that, sometimes we have school psychologists, high school counselors to guide some students along the way. Maybe to fill in all these gaps. Maybe they did not learn how to exercise personal control, take initiative at this age. And because of that, they doubt their own competence. And because of that, in high school, sometimes guidance counselor or school psychologists will do their best to guide the kid in the high school or middle school years, to help the kid figure out who they really are, what they really want to accomplish in life, including picking a college major or maybe trade school is more suitable for that adolescent. And in my humble opinion, I think all of us will go through all these phases. I've been through this many times. Unless we are somebody who are like Oksana Mayala, or somebody who had a tragic life like David Reimer. I think we eventually go through all these phases in different time periods. Some may go through this earlier than others, but we all go through the whole cycle. That's my 2 cents. You don't need to agree. Unless we have a very, very different upbringing. My 2 cents. We were either raised by animals, God forbid, or we were raised in an abusive family, or, oh, God forbid, somebody like David Reimer. So, my humble opinion is that the adolescents will not be confused throughout all his or her life. Eventually, even though not in middle school, not in high school, maybe in the work life, the adolescents, now a young adult, may figure out their strengths, may find out their strengths. Oh, through maybe work experience. Oh, I'm really good at these things, even though I did not go to college. But apparently, I have very good hand-eye coordination. And these people may be very good hairdressers, maybe very good cooks. Oh, I have a knack of mixing ingredients to make the food taste good. Even though I fail chemistry, who cares? Oh, this may be my career. I want to be a chef. This may be my niche. The person may find that out in their young adult life. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Or the person may find out, I have a very good sense of hand-eye coordination. Wow, I can be a good plumber. I don't need to go to college and I still make good money. I can be a good mechanic. I can, or if the person is already in college, oh, my grades are good. And apparently, I have a very good hand-eye coordination. I think I'm going to be pre-med, or I'm going to go into nursing. So I think the person will eventually figure their identities out. That's my point. Not to worry, that's my point. Are we clear? And if the person hasn't figured out his or her identity in this stage, the person may have a hard time forming trusting and healthy relationship with other adults around him or her. So if the person has a good sense of self or identity, it's easier for the person to form intimate, trusting, healthy relationships with adults around him or her. And when the person enters this stage, the adults around him or her can be maybe college friends, maybe colleagues at work, or other adults. And if the person have a good sense of identity, things went well from this stage to this stage. And when the person is at this stage, the person can also acquire a good sense of boundary. When the person forms relationship with others, when the person has a good sense of boundary, most likely the relationship can be more trusting or more trustworthy, more intimate in a healthy way. And if the person still has some self-doubt about what he or she wants in life, initially the person may have some problems forming trusting, healthy relationships with others, either at work or in school or in college. And the person may be initially somewhat isolated until the person really figures out where their strengths lies, who they are. Then they can form healthy, stable, intimate relationship with others. Maybe through a few instances of isolation, maybe things did not go well in here. Then the person may eventually figure himself or herself out. And maybe through a few mistakes, with other people. Maybe a few burn bridges, it doesn't matter. The person may learn, hopefully. Then eventually, the person can form intimate, healthy relationship with others. And if things go well, the person will progress through this stage. Generativity versus stagnation stage in his or her middle adulthood years. And because the person has a good sense of boundary, the person can form a healthy, trusting relationship with friends, family members, co-workers, colleagues, and whatnot. And because of that, maybe the person may be given a lot of opportunities at work to hone his or her skills and expertise. And because of that, the person may feel that, oh, I have accomplished a lot in my career in other aspects of life. I'm really contributing to my company, to that organization, or to society in general. And this is partly due to all the opportunities given by the person, because other people around that person find the person easy to work with, trusting, have a good sense of boundary. Because of that, the person is likable. And because of that, the person is given a lot of opportunities to exercise or to hone his or her potential. And because of that, it's easy for the person to accomplish many things in life and to contribute to society. So if things did not go so well here, the person has no good sense of boundary. Because of that, he or she has a hard time forming healthy, trusting, proper relationships with other adults. The person may have less opportunities. The person may be brilliant, have a lot of skills and expertise, but because people, for one reason or another, find the person somewhat hard to work with, then because of that, the person may have less opportunities to exercise those skills and talents. And because of that, the person may have less opportunities to contribute to the company, despite having all these expertise and talents, or to society in general. And the person may feel that he or she is somewhat stagnant in life, career-wise or other developmental aspects. The person may feel stagnant in this stage in life. And as the person enters old age, if things go well in here, the person gets the opportunity to contribute a lot to society. The person may feel that, wow, in general, I have a happy life. I have a fulfilling life. And if things did not go well here, the person may feel that he or she does not have a sense of, does not contribute any value to society. And because of that, the person may feel somewhat despair in the old age. So this can also explain why sometimes people commit suicide. Maybe due to different reasons. Maybe adolescents commit suicide because they are confused. And because they are confused, they are also bullied, who knows, or being cyberbullied. And maybe young adults commit suicide because they feel that people around them don't really care, due to somewhat different reasons than adolescents. And people in middle age commit suicide. Maybe they feel they don't contribute much to society, and maybe people don't care. They don't have healthy, intimate, close relationships with others. They feel their colleagues don't give them opportunity at work to hone their skills. Family members don't care about them. Their spouse don't understand them. So, As you can see, the effects can be cumulative. And these stages can also explain why people commit suicide. Maybe things did not go well in this stage or this stage, and the effects are cumulative, which eventually contributes to why people commit suicide in later stages of life. Something went wrong in the childhood years or even in the infanthood years. Lack of attachment from the parents, and things accumulate to the childhood years, to the teenage years, to the adult years. And people feel a sense of despair when they are in their elderly years. They feel life is not worth living. There are many elderly who committed suicide. Health is one reason, but it can also due to how they went through their developmental stages. Are we clear? Sorry, I'm not a psychologist. Okay, questions so far? And you have an essay due, right? And if you give me one page, if you can clearly describe the roles associated with the different statuses, you don't need the diagram, okay? Just one page. If you want the diagram, it's 2 pages. Clear? Question? Is due this Monday. Are we clear? So if you have no question, let's focus on another developmental stages by Jean Piaget. And this Jean Piaget or Dr. Piaget, when he observed how people progress from infanthood to childhood, to teenage years, to adolescence, their sense of smell, their sense of touch, their hearing, their vision becomes more acute. As they progress from infanthood to childhood, to early childhood to adolescence years. So Piaget focused on how people's senses, the 4 or 5 main senses, develop when they progress through all these years. Are we clear? Erickson is the only guy who focused on how people's sense of personal control improve over time. And Erickson is also the only guy who focused on infanthood to old age. The other theories, when they observe how people progress from one phase to another, usually they stop after puberty or after the adolescent years. Only Erickson focused his theory from infanthood to old age. Are we clear? Okay. So, the sensory motor stage. So, infant learns about the sense of touch or the vision, the sense of smell or hearing by interacting with the mother especially, and maybe older siblings or the father or immediate family members. I think infant, despite this young age, their senses are quite acute. They can know maybe the mother smell different from the father, the older siblings or the grandparents. And they know, oh, I'm hungry and my mom is coming to feed me milk. Or they know that's the look of the mother or the father or some other people. They can internalize all these looks and in their memory. And the next time, I'm sure you observe babies in your own family or your friends' babies. Maybe the first few times, the baby may feel distant from us. But maybe after a few times, if the baby is quite sociable, depends on the personality of the baby. The baby might not mind us being around, right? So this proves that infants or toddlers, even at this very young age, their senses are very keen. Maybe they can look at somebody, maybe a neighborhood kids, a friend of the mother, and maybe they retain those memories, I think. And the next time they see that person again, if the person is warm, seem kind, the infant will not cry, will not make a fuss. The infant got used to the other kids, the other adults around him or her. The other kids or adults may not be his or her family members. So this is what we mean by the sensory motor stage. Are we clear? And then in the early childhood years, the infant progressed to the pre-operational stage in this age group. And when the infant progressed to early childhood years, now the infant acquire the skills to think in symbols. When they see certain pictures, they can associate a symbol with that picture and make sense of that symbol, what the symbol means. So the child can now think in terms of symbol, what the red color means, what the yellow color means, or whatnot. Yellow is the symbol of particular fruits. Red is a symbol of certain food or fruits or whatnot. And at this stage, even though maybe the child observes certain things, maybe the red octagon stop sign means stop, symbolizes stop. The child is aware of it. The child may be aware of what different colors of the traffic lights represent in this age. Yeah, sometimes if you recall your younger days or if you observe other kids, sometimes when they sit in the car, they ask a lot of questions, right? Why we have to stop when the light is red? And why we have to stop when we see the octagon red stop sign? The kid can think in terms of symbols. This is what it suggests. But in these years, from 2 to 7, the kid cannot think from other people's perspective. Because of that, the kid can somewhat be egocentric. The kid cannot take other people's feelings, perceptions, opinions into consideration when the kid makes a decision. This is what we mean by egocentric. And yeah, the kid can better express himself or herself through language or through other symbols, but the kid is still egocentric. So I think some psychologists, they have a very good point. They say, even if parents, they punish the kid in these years, it doesn't do any good. The kid may be harmed, may be hurt. And the kid may be confused why he or she was being punished for being selfish. Because the kid can still not understand the logic or rationale behind all these punishments. I think sometimes psychologists have a point. So, some psychologists, I'm sure you know, or counselors or therapists, when they recommend to parents on how to better raise kids, maybe they recommend to parents, maybe they should talk about the logic and rationale behind all these punishments or whatever, so that the kid can get an idea why the parents is not pleased with them. Because kids tend to be egocentric in this stage. And when the kid is a bit older, now the kid can think in more logical and concrete terms. And because of that, we start to introduce a lot of math concepts in school in this age. And the kid can think in terms of 3 dimensions, so they know these two mean the same thing. The liquid in a white short cup and the liquid in a tall thin beaker. Oh, the amount of liquids are the same because the kid now can think in terms of 3 dimensions. And the kid can better organize his or her thoughts. And because of that, the kid may be less egocentric in this stage. And the final stage, after middle school, the kid, now an adolescent, enter this stage. And now, this is where school starts teaching subjects like calculus, linear algebra to students because they can think more in terms of abstract and logic compared to this stage. So, math problems weren't as advanced in this stage compared to this stage. And the kid can also think through. Yeah, people who go to prison are not necessarily bad people. Good people can go to prison too. The kid can better reason the moral, ethical, philosophical implications behind a given phenomena. People stealing food. That person may not be a bad dude. That person may steal food because he or she has to feed his or her family. The person may not be a bad dude. Now, the kid can think about the moral implications behind every actions and behaviors. So, I sometimes listen to a sermon from a Singaporean pastor in Chinese. The church has its own YouTube channel and I like their sermons. And in one of the sermons, the pastor mentioned, the pastor has a daughter in middle school in Singapore. So one day, the pastor was picking up the daughter in school and the daughter mentioned to him, I don't like this particular classmate. She is such an attention seeker. And the pastor will try to reason with the daughter. Maybe that classmate did not have the opportunity to learn how to be less egocentric in this life phase. Maybe her parents were too busy. They were both working, trying to support the family or trying to make money so that kids can have a better livelihood. So the parents neglect the kid in this regard. And nobody pays attention to her. Maybe during these years, and because of that, the classmate may crave attention from her friends in school because she could not get it from the parents in these years. So the classmate may do something to get attention from the classmates in the classroom in these years and maybe in the middle school years. So the point is that the point he was telling his daughter is that the classmate, what she did was unintentional. Are we clear?